We all have that passion to wanting to be great. That passion could be either in social media. That passion could be in sports. That passion could be in business. That passion can motivate us each and every day to want us to be great. But what we must understand is no matter how great we strive to be, what's most important is that we keep everything in perspective. That we put God first in all that we do. Whatever the sport or the business or whatever your plans may be, we must understand that God comes before all of that. And in here, I wanted to share with you guys 3 ladies that are in sports that have not lost sight of what's most important to them. And that's having God first in their life to get them through their successful sports careers. Today I wanted to talk about how putting God first. And as you know, this channel is called G.F.E, God, Family, and Everything Else podcast. And the reason why I created this is because I find that it's very important that we keep God first in all that we do. Do we always do that every day? No, we don't. We always tend to fall. I tend to fall, and I fall to it sometimes, and I kick myself for it. But you always hear a lot of Christians talking about, always put God first. And as important as that is, sometimes I feel like it loses its true meaning behind it. It becomes like a cliche. And what I wanted to share with you guys here are how important it really is to keep God first in all of our life, in everything that we do in our life. And I know that we all have things that we have that take priority. I wouldn't say priority over God, but we all have responsibilities. We all have to pay our bills. We all have a job that we have to go to. We all have families that we have to take care of and sports events and things like that in our busy schedule. But we must understand that that doesn't take precedent over God. God should be above all of that. And if we practice each and every day, we remember in our heart that God is first above all of that, then whatever challenges or struggles that we may seem to face in our life won't be as hard because we know that God is there and He will see us through the storm. But I wanted to share with you what Scripture happens to say, what it means to put God first in our life. Putting God first, most importantly, means loving the Lord your God with all of your heart and all of your soul. And that's in Matthew 22:37. What exactly does that mean? What that means is that everything that we have, everything that we work towards to must be solely devoted towards Him and bringing Him glory and honor and showing us that we appreciate everything that He continues to do in our life. Putting God first means keeping away from idolatry. What exactly is idolatry? Idols doesn't necessarily mean a statue or anything like that takes the form of like a calf or whatever that you worship to. No. Idolatry can be anything that you put before God. It can be your business, your job. It can even be going to the gym if you're really a fitness nut. I really enjoy fitness, and I find myself, I'm going to the gym every single morning, almost every single morning, like clockwork. But I do sit back and I think about it, and I'm like thinking to myself, am I putting this above God? I know God has blessed me this opportunity, but I don't want to put fitness above God. So if you look in John 5:21, it says, little children, keep yourselves from idols. That's very important because God even clearly says that He's a jealous God, that there's no other gods before Him. And don't put anything before Him. And that's God completely in the right to say that. So to put God first means to solely devote your time to Him. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that every single you just push everything aside and then you just completely worship God, as much as He would appreciate that. But God also wants us to live our life. He wants us to enjoy this life, but He also wants us to put things in perspective and understand, our place, to be honest, our place, and stay in our lane. And then all the blessings that He loves to give to us, He loves showering us with blessings. But we have to be appreciative and thankful and understand that He comes before everything. Another way of putting God first is also in 1 Peter, it says here, 1 Peter 2:21. For to this you have been called, because Christ also suffered for you, leaving you an example so that you might follow in his steps. What does that necessarily mean? When Christ was here, he was here to serve us. Now it's kind of hard to understand that. You're like, okay, God came down from heaven in the form of a man and he's serving us. But see, God wanted to let us know that he loves us and that he's there for us and that he experienced the pain that we feel, the sadness that we feel. So he knows exactly how we feel. So when we can come to him, he can relate. And also another way of putting God first is servicing other people. Like I said, there's a part in the Bible where Jesus is washing the feet of the disciples. And Peter was like, there's no time that you're going to wash my feet. And Jesus is like, well, if I don't wash your feet, you can't be my disciple. See, Jesus was serving his disciples and there and helping them out. And that's what Jesus was trying to convey to them as well, is that put others before yourself. Jesus could have clearly just been like, you know what, Peter, wash my feet. You know what, Simon, go get me that. Get me this. Just directing them. But no, God was here for us because he loves us. And God wants us to do that in our life as well. So when we see somebody that's in need, we must not try to put ourselves above them just because we may have more resources than they do. Why not share your blessings with people that need it? You know, if you have a spiritual gift where you listen, you can just listen and be that leaning shoulder for somebody. Do that for them. Or you have that spiritual gift where you can go and then make a difference financially. You know, you're a good speaker and you were able to build up all this wealth. Why not give back to people that need it? Because when you do that, you're doing that for God. So God is trying to tell us, don't be selfish and put yourself before other people. When people need it, if you see someone that's hungry, feed them. If you see somebody that needs help, help them. You know, never look down on others unless you are helping them up. Now, I know I went on a rant here just to let you know exactly what it means to put God first. So let me go ahead and bring up these three ladies, and their name is Abby D'Agostino, Maya Dorado, and Allison Felix. These three ladies are athletes that I would like to highlight, share with you what they happen to say, and just get your thoughts on what you think as well. But I think it's very bold and it's very, very encouraging to see other athletes on their platform happily share their faith with the world and not worry about the backlash that they're going to receive. And what I also wanted to just highlight as well, because you know, I'm not really big into politics or anything like that, but I do follow the news. I want to know what's going on in the United States since I live here in Japan. But I see that we have a new House Speaker, and he boldly shared the gospel in his speech. And he was willing to do that and understand that he lives on biblical principle and that he has a biblical worldview just like I do. Now, he's getting a lot of backlash for that, but you know what? That's a given. He already knew that was going to happen. And when we follow Christ, that's the backlash that we're going to get. We're going to get a lot of backlash from people that don't want to, you know, listen to what we have to say or believe that our views are hateful and whatnot. But when the Bible clearly says to love others, love your neighbor like you love yourself. Love doesn't mean you just let anything go. You hold people accountable, just like the Lord holds us accountable. But then actually, and at the same time, you know, if someone's in the wrong, you joyfully share with them, you know, what exactly, and lovingly, what exactly are their missteps, and just have a good conversation like that, a mature conversation, not bashing each other, because what good is that going to do? So again, let me get to the point with these three ladies and what they happen to say. But first, I'm going to probably start with, let's go with Abby. So at Abby, it looks like she runs track. She said, in theory, I've known that trusting God and giving my whole self to him is the only way in which you can feel that peace and joy and satisfaction that he offers. But it's another thing to experience that and to be caught up in the situation where what you believe is exposed. And then we have Maya. She says, I think God cares about my soul and whether I'm bringing his love and mercy into the world. Can I be a loving, supportive teammate, and can I bless others around me in the same way God has been so generous to me? And then let's end it with Allison Felix, she said, I never expected to be a professional athlete. I had to really trust him and his plan for my life. We always have our own idea of how our life is going to go, but we really have to follow the Lord's will. I had to trust him in regards to injuries and other life situations. I have learned that track doesn't define me. My faith defines me. I'm running because I've been blessed with a gift. I love the three things that these ladies had to say. They were speaking from the heart, and they were speaking truth about how they feel about their walk with the Lord, and they understand that God comes first before all that they have, and that they could not accomplish anything in their life if it wasn't for the will of the Lord, or the grace the Lord has given them, and the blessings that the Lord continues to give them, just despite the adversities that they face in their walk, or in their particular sport, or whatever they face, that they understand that God has a plan and a way for them. And we, like Allison said, we have this idea how our life should go, but we have to understand that we should put our trust and our hopes in the Lord. Yes, we can go ahead and work towards our goals, but we have to also remember and continue to pray and say, Lord, if this is your will for me, please, give me the strength and the knowledge and the will to get through this. If there's another path you want for me, I am humbly accepting that path as well, as long as it brings you glory. And I was speaking with my friend. I always speak with my friend about this. And I was sharing with him, I was saying that all that we have, all that I have, is none of my doing. It's all the Lord's doing. And I am very happy to say that, because without the Lord, I am nothing. Without the Lord, none of this would be possible. And he continues to bless my life and my family by giving us the things that we need, all the things that we need. And I have many goals, like I want with this channel is continue expanding his kingdom, doing so, but I want to do it his way and not my way. So if I am doing it, if I am very slow at coming out videos or anything like that, it's because I truly don't want to just throw out a video if it doesn't bring him honor or glory. If it doesn't represent God the way that he should be represented, it doesn't share the gospel that people should be hearing the gospel. I want to thoroughly do my homework before I share this with you. One, it's going to hold me accountable, keep me grounded, keep me humble, and understand that God comes first, and then at the same time for you as well. And we must be thankful every morning that God blesses us with the breath, and then start the day off with prayer, and might as well end the day in prayer as well, being thankful that he got us through another day, and then continue to provide for us. So, but if you are still seeking God and still looking to have a bunch of questions, or you're kind of doubtful or whatnot, I just pray and ask that if you happen to have a friend that is a Christian, or a mother, father, uncle, a friend, it doesn't matter, I highly encourage you to ask them questions, get to know God more, sit down, and whatever questions that you may have, as long as they're not disrespectful. If you're confused about something, or even if you have doubts, it's good to just have that mature conversation about who God is, and then sit down and then pray and ask the Lord to reveal himself to you. God will not hide himself from you if you are thoroughly looking for him. So I want to thank you for checking out this channel again. These are three ladies that I think is amazing, that were happy to share their thoughts about the Lord. And I just pray that they continue in that walk, in that relationship with them, and that this channel continues to grow, and then also bless other people as well. So please go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button at the bottom. And if you have any comments, please comment below so we can have an open dialogue conversation. Doesn't matter, be a guest on this channel. I would love to have that. I'm not for debates or anything, but I am for conversation. So until next time, this is G.F.E, God, family, and everything else. I'll see you next time. Peace.